This might also be a nice segue for me to introduce the other two speakers. Mr. Yang has an extensive experience in the field of commercial contracts, advertisements, market, and enterprise administration. He's now the Deputy Chairman of the Administration for Industry and Commerce Society of Beijing, Standing Director of the Institution of Economic Law of Beijing, Special Research Fellow of the Market Supervision Study Center of the State Administration for Industry and Commerce, as well as an arbitrator for the Beijing Arbitration Commission.
As a lawyer, I'm thinking lawyers should have their own ethics, and they actually play some role. You know, the lawyers will play the role of a mediator and actually help me to persuade all the referents. You know, on some of the cases, really, our referent party, they do not know what their rights and interests are, and they are going too far to ask too many questions. They are too demanding, and then they have their lawyer. Their lawyer will tell them, if you know after the mediation something will come up, you may lose more, and because the lawyer is you know quite convincing, then the participants will listen to the mediator and agree the mediation process. So lawyers do play an important role. And also when the lawyer is there, the participating parties will find it more reassuring that every detail is mentioned and the whole process is quite detailed and covering all aspects. So of course, there are some lawyers who are not really good personally and who are very provocative and ask his client to ask something really unreasonable, so that mediation becomes a failure, and then the lawyers will have more opportunities to go with the client to go to the court and work on that. But as a mediator, we have the responsibility that if you really want to have a prosperous future, and if you do not want to really lose money, then please remember you have to remember that you will lose more money if you are involved more in the legal process. So
the thing is the role and the quality of the mediator. If the mediator has a very solid professional knowledge and extensive experience, so they can persuade the parties, including lawyers. I think the mediator should serve the role of honest broker, facilitator, but also sometimes as a professor, because they have to teach them the legal issues, to demonstrate, indicate the shortcomings of their presentation and the issues, and to lower down their expectation for the final results if they go through the formal proceedings. In that case, they will say that it's better to have mediation. It's better to have a compromise. It's for their best interest. But the precondition is you should indicate the legal issues, the problems, and let them know in two separate rooms that your problems, and then to the other parties your problems, and then to combine, they will balance their demands and also the procedures. So to push the mediation, reach an agreement as quick as possible. I think sometimes you should criticize the lawyers, because maybe the legal provisions they have used is wrong, it's not appropriate. But if you point out these issues, they will be very reluctant to be more aggressive. So I think there's a learning process and also a teaching process. Before my experience, you do a mediation case, sometimes the mediator should prepare well in advance. to have a very solid foundation and knowledge of the cases. So you can point out to each party their strong points and their weak points, and then to see the middle point for their agreement. So, and then we can make the mediation case very successful. Thank you.
Sitting on my left is Zhang Bishop. Zhang is the senior resident partner responsible for Pinsent Mason's Asia Pacific practice and also the chief rep of the Beijing office. He's a leading practitioner of all aspects of law relating to construction and engineering, both in relation to contentious and non-contentious matters. He has worked in numerous countries and has been recognized in chambers and legal 500 directories for the UK and the Far East, as well as being chosen as the expert's expert and leader in the field. In 2007, Wholesale Eagle described him as the region's highest ranking lawyer and the elder statesman of Hong Kong construction. Zhang has also acted on a wide range of commercial matters, again both contentious and non-contentious. Zhang also practices as an arbitrator, adjudicator, and mediator. Thank you.
Just a very brief comment about lawyers, because I have a vested interest that I both mediate and act as a lawyer representing parties. And just to pick up, if I may, something that Madam Zhang very wisely said, and that is that it's about education. That's to say that lawyers, I think, who have been educated in mediation, and particularly lawyers who have actually sat on the other side and acted as mediators, tend to marry themselves to the process and marry themselves to the objectives of the process. And I have certainly, as a mediator, had more than one occasion when having the lawyers present very substantially helped in achieving a resolution of the matter. By the way, one could talk to them privately and they could work with their clients as to where the mediation was going. But if I may, as I say, to pick up Madam Zhang's wise words, this is very much about education, and you will always have the problems and at a large measure of lawyers disrupting and preventing mediation processes until there's formal training right from the start of legal training, so that lawyers are brought up to understand these processes and how they can participate, and how actually a successful mediation is a great win for the lawyer's point of view, not a loss because he's lost his day in court.